Everyone and their grandma has a GTA 6 rumor or leak to report on. So full transparency, we have none. So if you're here for that...
Get out.
No, don't get out. Stick around, please.
Sorry.
Give us the watch time. Show pity on us. No, so I wanted to talk today about 5 things that we actually want to see in a new Grand Theft Auto game in GTA 6, because this series is very interesting. They have so many different things you can do throughout the entire series, and with the addition of GTA Online, obviously that's expanded even more, but we'll get into that is not without its faults. So before we hop into this, if you enjoy this video, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We appreciate it very much. It helps us out a lot. And leave a comment letting us know what you think down below, what you want to see.
Number 5.
The first thing that we have actually is just a completely new setting. I think both of us want to see a new setting to Grand Theft Auto. It does not matter if it is in America or not exactly. I mean, America is great for this, but you could do this series somewhere else if you really wanted to. Games like Sleeping Dogs kind of showed that off, that's a possible idea. But if you do want to keep it in America, I think we just need somewhere different than California or Florida, for me at least. You do have like the more New York-y setting, but also the main ones have really been this Los Santos and San Andreas area, Vice City, which is basically like Miami, and also, the more New York-y feel. But there's a lot of other cities that you could go to in the United States and areas that would be really fun to make Grand Theft Auto games in, especially places that could be very satirical. Like imagine if you set one in Washington, D.C. How stupid and really funny it could be. Same with Boston,
Yep.
So there's a lot of different places you could go with this.
Yeah, I think this is something that's needed because for the last few Grand Theft Auto games, like you said, it's been basically the same city, where you have like the big city, which is always in California or Florida, like you said,
or New York. Like Liberty City is more New York, obviously-ish area.
I think we both would like to see something just brand new.
Yeah.
Like maybe something would be interesting is having, instead of like a giant city, maybe having something like a smaller city, but then like the outskirts is like mountainous or something. Like somewhere over in like the Appalachian Mountains or something. I just think we need to switch it up a little bit instead of just your typical big city countryside outside a big city.
Yeah, and that's something we'll get into more with the map in a little bit, actually, because you had some really good ideas with fleshing out the map that will certainly, I think that would help the game out and help replayability, especially in single player, but even in online. Number 4! The next one we have is more customization. Now, there's a few different ways we want to see this. Customizable houses and outfits. I think both would be nice. Right now, the customization for houses, generally, houses and bases is, hey, I bought this base, or I bought this arcade, right? Mm-hmm. I will put this game in it. I will move this game here. It's like the foundations of good customization.
Yeah.
But it's not there.
Right.
And it's the same way with the outfits. A lot of it's like, I will wear this jacket and these pants, or I will wear this jacket and these pants. Well, why can't I, put decals on the pants or change the color completely, or you know what I'm saying? Like, just more personality to what you are interacting with.
Yeah, I think this is even more needed in single player than online. I think for example, in single player, there's not really a lot of there is some, but it's not really there. Yeah. Online is better, but one of the biggest things that I think the game needs is the houses to be better, because there's really like generic inside of the houses in both single player and online. It's like you buy a house and then it just has a generic look.
And there's nothing to do in it.
Right.
So like when you go into a lot of these houses, you can take a drink. You can watch TV, and
you can.
I like the
smoke
TV.
The bong.
Yeah, you can. I like the TV, by the way, but there's not enough. Like, I think they need about...
there's like 3 channels.
I know that this is going to sound silly, like to some people, like, oh, well, you're complaining here. I think that there should be about 5 times as much TV shows in the next game.
Yeah.
So that, if you're hanging out waiting in a lobby for your friend to get online for 10 minutes, you could just sit down and watch the GTA TV.
Right.
And you might see something new.
Right.
I think that they need more stuff like that to add to world building, and I think the customization really adds to that too, with being able to change your clothes up, make them unique. Same with the houses. Instead of just, I bought the arcade, I'll put this machine here. It's like, well, I bought the arcade, I'll put the counter here. I'll put a server here. I will put my office here. I will put these 2 machines here. So you can actually choose more what you're doing. I do think too that adds more player agency and gives players more of a reason to feel like my base is special.
Right.
You know? It's not just like, Nate, you buy a house and I buy the same house.
And they're the same.
They're the exact same.
Yeah, I think that's even more needed in the houses.
Yeah.
Because there isn't any.
No.
It's just you buy the house and that's how it is.
Well, and you pointed out too to me a while ago, not even about this video, but you and I would pretty constantly buy different properties on purpose so that we wouldn't have the same exact one, so that we'd have twice as many places to go.
Yeah.
Like on purpose, we would coordinate, oh, I'll buy this house, you buy that one.
Right.
Okay, I'll buy the arcade here, you buy that one up north that looks different. And this might seem silly to people, but it was more just like, I don't really want to go to the same place over and over again because we play this game a lot together.
Yeah.
You know, so it just gets repetitive if you do that, I guess.
Yeah, I think that adding stuff to the houses and the bases and arcades and stuff like that would really add a lot to it. You know, and it doesn't really have to be like that extensive. Just
No, it should be The Sims.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
If The Sims can do it in 2000,
we can do it in 2021.
yeah. Do you even know what year it is?
No, I don't know what year it is.
20 AD.
I still think it's like 2016. So
Well, the world would be better off. Number 3. The next one we have is carrying over online items and progress in terms of GTA Online. Now, this I feel like is a pipe dream. I don't think this will happen, but GTA Online is a long-term project. It just keeps being added to, keeps being updated. It's survived 3 console generations. It started out on the 360 PS3 era, moved to the PS4 Xbox One era. Now it's on the PS5 era. You know, so this is an experience that isn't going away anytime soon, but I truly do think that it would benefit from being able to have, at the very least, your guns, your clothes, and your cars carried over to whatever the new online experience is, if it's a new one. I don't think you can use this one forever. There will be engine limitations eventually, you know, and it's like COD. You can't just keep pumping out the same experience in the same engine forever and expect it to stay cutting edge or anything.
Right.
And GTA Online already was not cutting edge when it launched. It was just impressive. The gameplay was just the same as 5.
Right. Yeah, it was the same map, same gameplay, same everything. And also at launch, it was kind of boring.
There was nothing
actually.
to do.
Like you did basically, the appeal of it was just Grand Theft Auto, like stealing cars and being annoying.
Running around and shooting people with your friends.
Yeah, that was kind of the appeal, but which they have added to it over time.
It's become much more of an
which is
RPG.
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think we need some carryover too, because then that also gives people a reason to play both as well.
Yeah.
You know, instead of like, oh, new GTA Online, let's just scrap this old one.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
true.
It gives people a reason to play both, and this might sound kind of silly, but to some people that is kind of annoying just to start completely over.
No, that's not silly. I was going to tell you, there's a lot of people who burn out from online games, especially shooters, because of this.
Yeah.
You know, I mentioned Call of Duty, but we see this a lot where it's like, do you really care next year? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
it's like I put all these hours into this one and then I have to start over.
yeah.
To some people that's cool, but to other people it's like, why'd I put all those hours into that?
Right, a lot of people, it makes them fall out of those games, like sports games or
Yeah.
shooters and stuff like that, and just kind of like play one every couple of years, if even. I think that would be a way to actually make your time investment feel worth it. Now, I know it's a video game, so like, you know, you can argue there's probably something better you could be doing or whatever. I know there's always that
Definitely not,
that
no.
boomer argument, like, oh, you're wasting your time. I don't think you're wasting your time if you're having fun. You know, if you're having
Right.
fun, you're not hurting anybody.
Right.
I think that's a good investment of your time. But, you know, this would make you feel like, hey, all that time I put into GTA Online on 5, I get something out of it here. You know,
Right.
it feels like a reward for you having played and been loyal to the franchise.
Yeah, I think that's something that's definitely needed.
Yeah. Number 2. So the next one that we have is actually making more areas mean something. You had some really good ideas with this too, because you and I have talked about it. There's a lot of areas in the map, in online and single player, that you go to that don't, you can't do anything. You can just stand outside and look at a building and walk on.
Yeah, I think it's especially prevalent in the country area of 5. The city there's a lot of buildings, a lot of stuff actually matter, but when you get out to the country, there's nothing to do at all. Like, unless you just want to look around or mess around on going up the mountain or, You know, or maybe there's a quest out there or something, or your arcade or whatever. Other than that, it's like there's nothing to do.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of buildings, there's a lot of suburbs, there's a lot of country houses, and none of them matter. And even the houses that you can buy don't even matter in that game. It's like you go into the country and there's maybe what, like 4 houses you can even buy?
Not a lot.
And they're also pretty crappy too. Like they're just not expensive at all. There's nothing really important about them. It's not very interesting. And I think maybe in the next game they really need to add more, especially into like the country area. Whatever that may be, they need to add more because it's really lacking in 5.
Yeah,
and it really made it boring.
Well, that's something that Red Dead 2 does a bit better of a job with versus just scope, you know, adding more interactivity and more things in the world. I think that this is a problem, though, that video games have had forever. The idea that big is great. You know, if you have a big map, it's good. That's not the case. Look at Assassin's Creed Unity. It's a big map packed with crap that no one wants to do.
Yeah,
it's not that
Arkham
interesting.
Origins.
Yeah, Arkham Origins. I like that map, but a lot of it's empty.
Yeah,
you know, so
exactly.
it's like the bigger the area doesn't make it better. I think that having more interesting stuff in each area would be good. And I do agree with your point that it's weird that the point that they always make, you know, with the new maps is like, oh, GTA 5's map is bigger than, you know, Vice City, Liberty City, and San Andreas combined. Okay, but if it's not as interactive, or like, let's say there's not as much to do in certain areas, what's the point of that area?
Right.
Why would I go there?
It's just cool to look at, but then it becomes less cool after the 4th time you've gone to look at it.
Yeah. So
yeah, I think it's just something that's needed. You know, I don't care if the map's bigger than 5 or not. I don't really care, as long as you can actually do stuff in it.
Yeah.
You know, and plus there's a lot of really cool houses and stuff like that. Not to go on about this, but there's a lot of really
real
cool...
estate guy here.
I am. There's a lot of really, really cool houses in like the country area in 5, and I'm really angry that you can't buy them.
What are you, like Donald Trump?
I am
like a real estate investment here in the game.
I am.
You know, I agree with you. I think that it's frustrating to see something neat and think like, oh, well, I wish I could do something with that, but I can't. In a game that's whole bragging point is look how much you can do. It's like, well, why can't I do that? No. Go back in the city. Look how much you can do.
Right.
It's like, why am I out here then? What's the point?
Number one. It's number one.
So I think the final one we have, this is one that matters, I would say, even more to me than you, but I think it matters to both of us based on the principle of it. It's focusing on single player post-launch as well. I am not saying drop online. I am not saying don't sell shark cards. I know a lot of people will say, well, the shark card microtransactions are stupid. I agree with you, but they fund this game, you know? You don't really pay anything for this game because people pay all kinds of money into shark cards and then you just get everything for free.
Right.
So believe it or not, while in a perfect world I would love for there to be no shark cards, I don't really care, actually. I just want them to not ditch single player just because they made online and make more money off of it. There's no reason for that. Like, the single player in GTA 5 was screwed over so hard as soon as online launched. We got like a couple of guns from online, and that's about it. You know, really nothing else. I think there was a few cars that were brought in one of the first updates to single player, and never again really has there been much anything added from all the assets created for online multiplayer. Everything. And you know what's weird about it is that if you did this, if you made these things available in offline, you give players a chance to try it, to try like a sports car, you know, with their money they made in single player, and then maybe they will spend money on shark cards and buy it in the game. I don't really think that you, by making it so exclusive, I don't really know if it gets more people to buy it. I know they could say, well, those people can't use it at all unless they buy it, so that's better, more exclusivity, but I don't really know if it is. You know, like, a lot of people, there's a lot of things we've passed on in the game because we're like, I don't know what this is like. I don't want to spend $2 million
right
on a chance I might like this item.
Right.
If you could try it out in single player or anything, I think that would help. And also the single player world, it's great up until the point of you beat the story and do a few more of the strangers missions and encounters. And after that, there's not much to do, which is weird for, again, a game series that's like so self-indulgent on how much you can do in it.
Yeah, I think the single player is kind of sad. You know, I mean, it's good. The single player is good, but kind of like you said, once you beat the game, it's like, oh, I might as well just play online. There's no reason to go back to single player.
The sad thing is that's the point. Like, I truly think that's what they wanted, so that you would just go spend money in online. But I don't really think this is the best way to handle it. And also, it's kind of bad behavior from a company that's been heralded as like single player giants. You know, Bully, Red Dead Redemption 1, Red Dead Redemption 2, GTA 5 single player, GTA 4 single player, San Andreas, Vice City, GTA 3. These were all like insanely good single player experiences to a point, and they were only limited by technology and development time until GTA 5 launched. Even GTA 4 had a ton of like story mode expansions, such as fan favorite The Ballad of Gay Tony DLC expansion.
Yes.
I'm serious.
No, I know. I forgot about that till you said that, but yes.
A pretty funny expansion. But, you know, it's just silly that we're limited by time constraints and development resources, so we can only make this so big, to screw you, we're limited by you give us money.
Yeah.
That's what this comes off
It's pretty
as.
silly, yes. Yeah, I think that, you know, you don't even have to make the single player the focus of the game, but at least just giving people a reason to play it after beating the game.
And not abandoning your roots.
Right, exactly.
Like, this is what made Rockstar great.
Yep, we need to make Rockstar great again.
I was going to make that joke, but I didn't want to cut you off again, because I already did. Yeah, you know, I mean, this is kind of, not to go on and on about this, but this is the real sticking point for me, because this is the same problem Bethesda has. You know, where it's like, all right, look, not all of our games are perfect, but Skyrim is huge, tons to do. You know, New Vegas, Obsidian made this, we published it, it's huge, it's still got our name on it, you love it. Fallout 3, same thing. You know, all these games, Oblivion, with tons of highly, I don't know, it's like beloved by players. It's received so well. And then the company is heralded as like, these guys are keeping single player alive. You know, in a world that just wants to sell you a gun at every turn and a microtransaction in a shooter or whatever, these guys are pushing single player experiences and keeping the art going. Cut to now, where it's like, screw the art, give me money.
Right.
I hate that. It pissed me off so much about 5. And I don't really want to see that in 6, but I'm sure I will. You know, I think this is a pipe dream to expect them not to do it because of how much money they make off shark cards.
Right. Yeah, I think you're having some pretty wishful thinking here.
I know.
But, you know, it is something that's needed, is that the single player just actually matters. I mean, again, like we've said before, like you beat the single player and it's like, oh, I'm done. And it's also a problem for people that don't really have online, or at least online that they can get like consecutively. Because then they just can't play the game.
Right, there's no purpose.
Right. It's like, I've already beaten the single player, I'm done.
Yeah.
You know, but if you keep adding to it, then it gives people a reason to go back to it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so many games, not even just this, but so many games have struggled from that. Like Jedi Fallen Order. Yes, they've added some skins and stuff like that, but there's really no reason to play the game after you beat it.
Right, which is weird because I don't think games used to struggle with that as much. There used to be a lot of like post-game content.
Yeah,
especially in Japanese games, like JRPGs and stuff.
Yeah.
They've been good with this forever. I mean, this is the nichest dig I'm going to possibly make, but Star Ocean 3, for example, is a game where it's like you beat it, and then there's, I'm not kidding, like another 50 hours of stuff to do.
Yeah.
Like you can go through secret dungeons and unlock new weapons and fight secret bosses and all kinds of stuff. This kind of mentality in gaming of, hey, we've got some extra time, let's put more content in there for the player, is gone.
Right.
So I don't like that. I think that Rockstar is a big company that could change that precedent a bit if they would just put aside a little bit of the, I don't know, greed and focus on it, but I don't expect it. So I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, it doesn't even have to be much. You can just add in some new guns, a couple expansion packs.
Every time you do an online expansion, just put those items in single player even.
Exactly.
And add a couple side missions.
That's not
like
that
2
hard.
new strangers missions.
Yep. There you go.
We're done. What is that?
That's
like,
it.
Maybe like 3 days worth of shark card earnings.
Oh no.
in out of a year
Can't
to
do that.
expand the game. I don't know. I know we could go on probably about this last point for like an hour because of how frustrating it is in the gaming industry, but we really just both want to see that. Let us know what you think in the comments down below. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed this. Subscribe for more content if you enjoy this as well, and tell us what you're thinking. What do you want to see? Do you agree or disagree with any of our points? What are your thoughts on GTA 6? When do you expect to see it? Any of this stuff. Down below, we also have several links that you can check out. Please do. I'm not begging you. I'm just kindly asking.
It's just Rule 34 of Link.
No, it's not. No, don't. That's hidden. Okay. We have a Patreon where you can help support our channel. We appreciate you supporting independent creators on YouTube, Instagram, a thriving Discord community that you are welcome to join and hang out with a bunch of cool people. I was trying to think of what else we have. A Facebook group now. My fiance runs that. A Facebook page. Pretty cool. We're not boomers anymore. We'll see you in the next one. Have a fantastic day. And as always, stay shway.